Everyone knows who Hercules is, or at least they think they do. He's the strongest man alive, son of Zeus, and the most famous Greek demigod. But in order to earn his godly power, he had to complete 12 near-impossible tasks, known as the 12 Labours of Hercules. These labors are where Hercules really made a name for himself and cemented his status as a hero of mankind. However, there's more to these labors than meets the eye. They were not just some random tasks that Hercules was given. Each one had a much deeper meaning and significance. So join me as we uncover the true meaning behind each of the 12 labors of Hercules. Now, before we get into the list, make sure to hit that like button for more videos just like this one. Also stick around until number 8 when we find out what may be the most shocking labor of all. Number 12. Slay the Nemean Lion. The first labor was one of the most brutal. Slay the Nemean Lion. This creature was said to be immortal with impenetrable skin. Nothing could harm it, not even Zeus's lightning bolts. Hercules knew that he couldn't defeat the lion with brute force alone, so he used his wits and killed the beast by tricking it. He managed to get close enough to the lion to wrap his hands around its claws and pull them apart. With the lion dead, Hercules used its impenetrable hide to make a coat for himself. It was a hard-won victory, but an important one because it showed that Hercules was not just strong, but also smart and resourceful. The lesson here is to never underestimate your opponent and always be prepared to use your head as well as your hands. Number 11. Slay the Lernaean Hydra. Next up is the Lernaean Hydra, a multi-headed serpent-like monster that lived in a swamp. For every head that Hercules cut off, 2 more would grow back in its place. It seemed like no matter how hard he fought, he would never be able to kill it. But Hercules refused to give up. He kept fighting until he found a way to defeat the beast. After decapitating one of the heads, he burned the severed head so that new growth would not occur. And finally, the Hydra was dead. Through perseverance and ingenuity, Hercules triumphed over seemingly insurmountable odds. The lesson here is to never give up in the face of adversity and to keep trying until you find a solution. No. 10. Capture the Cernaean Hind. This one might seem like a walk in the park, but don't be fooled. The Cernaean hind was a sacred animal belonging to the goddess Artemis, and it was extremely fast and elusive. In fact, only a demigod like Hercules stood a chance of capturing it. He tracked the hind for months, enduring many hardships and dangers along the way. But finally, he managed to corner the animal and capture it. The lesson here is that even the smallest and seemingly weakest creatures can be incredibly powerful if they are willing to fight for their freedom. Number 9. Clean the Augean stables in a single day. Now let's talk about something a little more disgusting. Hercules was tasked with cleaning the stables of King Augeas, who was notoriously filthy and lazy. The stables were so dirty that it would take an entire army of men years to clean them. But Hercules didn't have that kind of time, so he came up with a plan. He diverted 2 rivers nearby, the Alpheus and the Peneus, through the stables. The water rushed in and washed away the filth, leaving the place spotless. The lesson here is that sometimes the best way to solve a problem is to think outside the box and come up with a creative solution. No. 8. Steal the girdle of Hippolyta. Now we're getting to the more interesting part of the list. The girdle of Hippolyta was a magical artifact that gave its wearer incredible powers. Unfortunately, it was also cursed, causing anyone who tried to take it to go insane. Hercules knew the risks, but he was willing to take them for the sake of glory. He snuck into the Amazonian queen Hippolyta's camp and stole the girdle. As he was escaping, he was attacked by a horde of angry Amazons, but he fought them off and made it out alive. The lesson here is that sometimes the greatest danger comes not from the monsters and beasts, but from other humans. Number 7. Drive the Erymanthian bull. Now let's talk about one of the most epic battles in all of Greek mythology. The Erymanthian bull was a giant monster that was so strong that it could shake the earth with its footsteps. Hercules spent 3 whole days wrestling with the bull, trying to subdue it, but it was no easy task. Finally, he managed to get the upper hand and drive the bull back to King Eurystheus. The lesson here is that even the greatest heroes need more than just strength to succeed. They also need endurance, strategy, and a willingness to push through even when they want to give up. Number 6. Slaughter the Stymphalian birds. These birds were vicious predators that lived in a lake near the city of Stymphalus. They were covered in bronze feathers that made them virtually invulnerable to attack. Hercules needed to come up with a clever plan to defeat them. He decided to build some clappers made of bronze, which he then used to lure the birds out of the lake. Once they were out in the open, Hercules shot them down with his bow and arrow. The lesson here is that sometimes you need to be patient and wait for the right opportunity to strike. Number 5. Capture the Cretan bull. Now let's talk about another one of the most exciting labors of Hercules, capturing the Cretan bull. This bull was said to be the greatest and most powerful bull that had ever existed. Its horns were like swords, and its breath was hot enough to melt stone. Hercules tracked the bull through the wilderness, following its footprints and the sound of its heavy footsteps. After 3 days, he finally managed to corner the bull and catch it. The lesson here is that sometimes the greatest challenges require the longest journeys, but the rewards are always worth it. Number 4. Journey to the ends of the earth. This one might sound simple, but trust me, it was anything but. Hercules was told to go to the ends of the earth and bring back some golden apples. But no one knew exactly where the ends of the earth were, and Hercules had to rely on his instincts to guide him. He traveled for months, facing countless dangers and hardships along the way, such as crossing rivers and mountains. Finally, he reached the end of the earth and retrieved the golden apples. The lesson here is that sometimes the journey is just as important as the destination, and that even heroes need to rely on their instincts to guide them. Number 3. Steal the cattle of the monster Geryon. Now let's talk about one of the most dangerous and memorable labors of Hercules, stealing the cattle of the monster Geryon. Geryon was a 3-headed monster who guarded a magical herd of cattle on a distant island. Hercules had to cross the sea, fight off Geryon's 3-headed dog, Orthrus, and then wrestle with Geryon himself. He managed to defeat all 3 of these obstacles and steal some of the cattle, but he wasn't done yet. He had to defend his prize while being pursued by the giant eagle, the cattle of Geryon. This was a test of Hercules' endurance and strength, and he passed with flying colors. The lesson here is that sometimes you have to fight not just for your own goals, but to protect what you have already achieved. Number 2. Obtain the belt of the giantess Althea. Now let's talk about one of the most heroic and awe-inspiring labors of Hercules, obtaining the belt of the giantess Althea. Althea was a giantess who lived on the edge of the world, and her belt was a symbol of her immense strength and power. Hercules had to travel to the ends of the earth to find her and request the belt. He approached her humbly and asked for the belt so that he could present it to King Eurystheus. Althea was impressed by Hercules' courage and granted his request. The lesson here is that sometimes you have to go to great lengths to achieve something truly special, and that humility and respect can go a long way. And finally, number 1, his greatest challenge, slay the Nemean Lion. This one might seem a bit weird after I already told you about it earlier, but trust me, there's more to the story. When Hercules was just about to complete his 12th and final labor, he had a bit of a problem. He had already completed 11 nearly impossible tasks, and now he needed one more. To make matters worse, he had to slay a lion that was immortal and had impenetrable skin. Hercules knew that he had to summon every ounce of strength and cunning that he had if he wanted to stand a chance against this beast. And so he did. He fought the lion and emerged victorious, completing his 12 labors. The lesson here is that sometimes the greatest challenges come at the end when you're already exhausted and you have to dig deep inside yourself to find the strength to keep going. So there you have it, the 12 Labors of Hercules. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you did, please leave a like and comment below to let me know what you thought. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos. Until next time.